at 1.2 million, how much was the interest, how much was the mortgage payment at 1.2 million dollars with a 2% interest rate?
So first of all, if we're going to use numbers, let me just clarify the numbers and then we can have our discussion.
Go ahead.
So let's just say before, back in February,
Yeah.
at 1.2 million, at 3% locked in interest rate, because we're not talking variable, we're talking locked in, would have been approximately $4,000, okay? Now, if we look at today, right now we're in July, we're down about 26% into the market, which would take the same house at 1.2 and drive it somewhere at around 900,000. At a 5.19% interest rate would actually take us to almost approximately the same at 39.25, call it $4,000. So it's fair to say that with today's interest rate being as high as it is at a lower purchase price, we're at the same payments as we are with a higher purchase price but a lower interest rate. Now, which is better is really the discussion.
Right.
And I'm gonna go, and none of us know our answer, but what I would say is that I would rather buy on a lower purchase price at a higher interest rate.
Why?
Well, there's a few reasons why. The first reason is I believe in growth. So I believe if I bought at a lower purchase price, paid higher interest, in terms of capitalization, I know that eventually the interest rates are going to go down versus going to go up.
So one thing we didn't get
Right.
is how much interest are you paying the bank in 5 years?
Granted, you're probably going to be paying more in interest than you are in principal. That's for sure.
So in 5 years, is it fair to say at what, 5%, if we get a 5% growth, what will it go up to?
A 5%, about $50,000 a year on $1 million.
So in 5 years, how much will we be at?
$250,000.
So is it fair to say it's actually no different?
Well, no, because if I bought a house,
A $1.2 million house in 5 years,
Right.
it went down and it went up $50,000, but your payment is the same or less,
right? So
versus a $900,000 purchase with
Right.
with a higher mortgage payment.
I think psychologically, what you're saying is factual, and I get that. But I think psychologically, if I know I'm purchasing a house at $900,000 versus 1.2, we're talking about the same payments. I think it's likely I would rather buy the house that's going to be around 900,000 because we don't know how long it's going to be before another drop comes or a spike comes. If we actually look at it, I get how people say there's a 5% increase year over year in the last 50 years, but if we shorten that time span and we look at, like, let's say the last 5 to 10 years, man, in the last 2 years we've had 42% growth.
Correct.
So I'd rather buy on the short end than the high end.